Hello, I'm back with the second video, and before I begin, I have just one continuity from my last video. As I mentioned, though I am teaching about Bible, I'm not a scholar of it, but rather a reader, and I'm also trying to learn. And my intention is also not to teach Bible writer, but rather to practice and to share what I learn. Here, more than the concepts, what I'm focusing on is on my communication, and these are strictly for sharing my knowledge, and how well I can share. And these are based on the Bible reading portions which I have done, as well as a few quick googling regarding the historic facts. With that, let me get started. So what we wanted to do in this sessions are we try to base the biblical books, and we are trying to understand the chronological sequence in which it has happened, focusing primarily in the aspects of how and the based on the Jewish temple's construction. So the Jewish temple, or a temple which was there in Jerusalem, it has a significant importance for uh, for all of us, the Christians. Yeah, and not only that, in Bible we see that it's like a main turning points, and and it will also give us a sequence of flow in terms of events which are happening. So the Bible stories and books which came, I wanted to segregate them based on the construction and destruction of the temple. So as of now, there were twice the temple were constructed, and this got destroyed again and again. And now Jews are anticipating for the rise of the third Jewish temple, and it holds a significant meaning. So earlier last video, I was talking about the construction of the first temple. So until the events till there, if we look back, we know that from Genesis till the book of Kings, where the first king Saul, then David, then Solomon, and Solomon constructs the first temple. So until now we have covered the portions of construction of the first temple. In the second video we will be focusing on the events which happens between the construction of the first temple and the events leading up to the destruction of the first temple. And in this, if we look at it, so Saul became the first king to Israel, and then later, due to his disobedience and things which he did which did not please God, he chose David as the next king of Israel. And Samuel prophet, he goes and anoints David as the king of Israel when he was young. Then events in David's life are explained in the subsequent books. And after David, Solomon becomes the king. And after Solomon, after that, Israel gets divided into two nations. So one, we can call it as Northern Kingdom, and where 10 of the 12 tribes of Israel gathers together, whereas in the Southern Kingdom only two tribes are left, and which is also known as the Judah, and the Northern Kingdom is referred as Israel, or their capital was Samaria. So Israel and Judah and Samaria. And Southern Kingdom, Solomon's son Rehoboam, he gets the kingdom of it, and the remaining tribes which fought with Rehoboam and they wanted another king, so they have Jeroboam as their king. And then from there onwards, we can see in the book of Kings and also in Chronicles that in both the cases there will be like a one king will be living for so many times, and other king will be in ruling there, and at the death of this king, after how many years the other king comes, will be able to see that. A few notable kings in the northern kingdom are like Jeroboam, who started the northern kingdom, and then Ahab and Jehu, uh, who overthrew Ahab. And there were other many kings who are coming in this book. And in southern kingdom, a few notable names are like Rehoboam and Asa, Jehoshaphat, Hezekiah, and Josiah. And there are like many more kings are there. And in this, during the time of these kings, there are prophets, and many of the major prophets and minor prophets who have written books in the Old Testaments. They are also part of it, like Amos, Hosea, Jonah, Obadiah, Isaiah, Micah, and Joel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. So these prophets come during the time of these kings, and they minister to Israel, and many of the times warns against the kings who are doing things which are against God's will. And in northern kingdom, a few of the notable prophets are like Amos, Hosea, Jonah, and Obadiah. And in the southern kingdom with Judah, Isaiah, Micah, Joel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, they were all the prophets with the southern kingdom of Judah. And this tenure, it gets over. So after a long sequence of these kings, all of them doing things which were not pleasing to God, God gave them in the hands of Assyrians and Babylonians. So the northern kingdom, where the 10 of the tribes of Israel are there, they were getting conquered by Assyrians in 722 BC. Later, southern kingdom also gets overthrown at the time of Zedekiah, and that is around 586 BCE, where Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar comes and they conquer the southern kingdom, and they get all the Israelites captive, and they destroy the first Jewish temple, which was constructed by Solomon. It gets destroyed by the Babylonians, and all the Israelites were taken captive. During this captive time is where the prophet Daniel comes, and all the other prophets are coming during the captives, and they're returned back to, they're exiled to Babylon and returned back to Israel. There are like a few prophets comes, which we'll be covering in the next session, where the construction of the second Jewish temple will be discussing about it.